Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials on that website, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guidebook, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of the time when you're actually in the exam room working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And so now we're going to continue with the paper B of the Grade 3 2017 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 8, and we're going to have a look at question 4. So question 4 asks us to describe each of these melodic intervals. Melodic because they come one after each other, like a melody, as opposed to harmonic intervals that come together like a chord or a harmony. The keys are named, and we're always counting from the lower note. However, just because the key is major or minor, that doesn't mean that the interval will necessarily be major or minor, because there are adjustments and there are different intervals in each scale, so you've got to work it out individually. You can't just presume from the title. And so the first job to get half marks is to find the number, how many steps, and the only way you can get this wrong is if you forget to count the given interval as number 1. So if that's 1, next door note is 2, that's a second from B flat to C, so we know that it's a second, so that's half the marks done. Now here we got from B flat to C. Don't forget that the B is flattened because of the key signature. And B flat to C is part of the major scale. And so that's a major second. So here let's count our interval first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a seventh. And here we've got F, G, A, B, C, D, E. We've got F to E natural. Now F to E natural is part of F major scale. E flat would be part of F minor scale, and so that's a major interval. And if you notice, just to double check, F to E natural is a larger interval than the minor interval, E flat. The minor interval is smaller than the major. Major intervals are always a half a step or a semitone bigger. Let's have a go at this next one. So here we've got a 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. We've got an eighth. I've just skipped up counting the lines there. And we've got from A to A, that's an octave, and that's a perfect interval. Fourths, fifths and octaves are perfect. We don't have major and minor, it's just perfect. Let's have a look at this next one then. So 1, 3, 5, 6. So we know it's a 6, so that's half marks straight away. And here we're from F sharp to D. Now F to D is part of F major scale. F sharp has made it smaller because we've raised the lower interval. We do that because it's easier to think in the key of F major than the key of F sharp major. So F to D is major. We've sharpened the lower note and made it smaller. That makes it minor. F sharp to D sharp would be major. And so it's part of the minor scale. It's a smaller interval, so it's a minor sixth. There we go. And then let's look at this last one. 1, 3, 5. It's a fifth. And we know that they are perfect intervals. So there we go. Let's have a look at this next one. So have a go at this yourself. if you haven't done so already. It's always better to have a go and learn by your mistakes. You're only ever writing in pencil. Have a nice sharp pencil, and then you've got your trusty eraser to hand should you make a mistake, and you'll learn more thoroughly that way. And so let's have a look at this. We're asked to add the correct rest or rests. That's really important there at the places marked with a star. So we've got to look at the time signatures and then complete the gaps with rest or rests. So this is split common time, à la brève, which is 2/2. Or you could even mathematically think of it as 4/4. That might just help your maths. So there's one crotchet beat, there's another crotchet beat, there's a quaver beat. So we've got 1, 2, we've got one beat there, half a beat there, we've got 1, 2.5 beats. And so we've got 1.5 beats to fill. Now you'd think that you could do a 1.5, but remember that's not allowed. That makes it look like it's a compound time. Every new beat needs a new rest, and so we'd have to do a 1 beat and then a half to show there's beat 1, there's beat 2, there's beat 3, and then there's beat 4 in crochet beats, or there's 2 and there's 2. You couldn't even go the other way around. You couldn't do a half and then a 1 beat, because that half completes that unit there. So if you got it the other way round, it would be off beat, it'd be syncopated, you'd be out of time. You've got to have your full beat and then 2 halves make another crochet or quarter note. So you've got to just tidy up each unit. So here we've got a crochet, here we've got a crochet, there's a 1 and a 1, which makes a minim beat. So we've got half of the bar here, so we've got another minim beat to use here. Now because we're halfway, we don't have to do 2 separate beats. We're in 2 beats in a bar, we've got a full 2 beats, and even if it was 4 beats in a bar, we could still just do a 2 beat rest, a minim rest or a half note rest like that, because it's the complete half of a bar, the whole bulk is done. So that would be the correct answer there. So looking at this next beat, we've got a crochet beat, a half a beat, a quaver beat or an 8th note, a 1 and a 1. We've got 1, 2, 3 and a half. It is off beat, but that's the way the composer has created it, and so that's how it stays. We can't change the way that they've written it, and so we just fill in the missing quaver or 8th note. That's that. Let's have a look at the next one. So now we are in 9/8, we are in compound triple time. We've got 1, 2, 3 groups of 3, and that's what we need to reflect here. So we need to show in this bar here 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3 quavers. And so we have to show that in each stage. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the only way of answering that question accurately. If we rearrange those or try any other configuration, if you did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and then finished it, that would be incorrect, because that needs to finish this compound group of 3. And so you have to finish tidying up that beat before you can then carry on. And you wouldn't do a minim beat with a dot, because every new beat needs a new rest. You've got to show the breakdown of the beats. So that's the correct answer to that one. So let's have a look in this next bar. So let's just work backwards and see what we're missing. We've got 1 group of 3 there, we've got 1 group of 3 there, 1, 2. We've only got a quarter of a beat here, or sorry, a half of a quaver beat. We've got a semi quaver here, and so we need another semi-quaver or another 16th note to make that into an 8th note equivalent. And so we just tidy up that missing quaver or 8th note there. So that's that question completed. And so let's look at the next question. So if you turn the page with me to page 9, let's have a look at this last question for this video. So we have a number of things to do here. We've got to add the correct clef. There we go, make sure you can see. And then we've got to add a key signature as well. So for this to be D minor, of course, this needs to be a D. We need D, F, A, first, third, fifth. And for that to be the case, that needs to be in bass clef. D, F, A, that's A in bass clef, all cows eat grass. And if you're not sure, count backwards. A, G, F, E, D. So we know that needs to be bass clef. And the key signature for D minor is related to F major, which is a key signature of B flat, so we'll pop a B flat there, and that's now correct. So the next one, if you've not had a go, perhaps press pause and have a go, and then re-access into the video once you've had a crack at these remaining ones. So let's check through them together now. For this to be C sharp minor, the tonic, the lowest note has to be C sharp. And so that would again make it bass clef, that would be middle C. C, E, G. C sharp minor is related to E major. Again, I always say write all your key signatures out before you start. Write your circle of fifths out. If you're not sure about that, there's a video that I've done explaining how to do that. If you look in the description below. And that way you've only got to think about these things once, and then you can just refer to it without getting confused by having to keep scratching your head and thinking about it. So E major has a key signature of F, C, G, D sharps. So remember to place those correctly in the bass clef. There we go. Now this next one, for this to be A flat, this must be an A, C, E, and that must be treble clef. And A flat major has a key signature of 4 flats, B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats. So let's just position those in the treble clef. B, E, A, D. Always that order, always that position. For this to be G major, the tonic G here, G, B, D, so that needs to be bass clef. So we're just peeping over above middle C there. And G major has a key signature of F sharps, so that's soon done. For this to be D major, this tonic has a D, D, F, A, it needs to be treble clef. And the key signature is 2 sharps, F sharps and C sharps. There we go. And that's that question completed. And so that's today's video completed. We'll look at the remaining questions in the next video. I do hope that you're finding this helpful. I hope that you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. I hope it's of benefit to you. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more in store. Please do also visit sharonbill.com to make use of all of the resource and information that's available to you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.